So I've been wearing the Galaxy Watch 8 Classic every day for almost 3 months now, and it's one of those watches that has everyone split down the middle. Some say it's a step forward, others swear it's a step back. On paper, you might think you already know the answer, but then you actually wear it and the story changes completely. This is a watch that surprised me in ways I didn't expect, but also left me scratching my head wondering what they were even thinking. Let's get into it. What's up guys, Sal here. So let's start with the thing that impressed me the most, comfort. Last year, Samsung switched up the band connector with the Watch Ultra, and now they've changed it again. My first thought was, why mess with it again? But once I put the Watch 8 Classic on my wrist, it all started to make sense. The new lock system hugs the wrist closer than before. It keeps the sensors pressed firmly against your skin, which means more accurate health readings. But more importantly, it no longer feels like a block of metal glued to your arm. The Watch Ultra always reminded me it was there. The Watch 8 Classic, well, it practically disappears. And what's wild is that on paper, it's just 3 grams lighter and a hair thinner than the Ultra. But in real world use, it feels completely different. I've worn it to the gym, while typing, even while sleeping, and it just fades away. For me, that's one of the biggest wins with this redesign. Now, comfort was the surprise win. The display though, that's where Samsung let me down. They actually made it smaller this year, about 0.2 inches smaller than the Ultra. Doesn't sound like much, but if you're used to a bigger display, you notice the downgrade immediately. To be fair, the quality of the panel itself is excellent. It hits 3000 nits of brightness, so outdoor visibility is never a problem. Colors are sharp, vibrant, and honestly it's a 10 out of 10 panel in terms of quality. But shrinking the size was unnecessary and honestly feels like a step back. One change I was genuinely happy about though, the rotating bezel is back. And it feels better than ever. The grooves are deeper, the click is more satisfying, and honestly just begs you to spin it. But it's not just about feel, it's useful. You can fly through tiles fast or scroll frame by frame with precision. It's so much smoother than swiping the display. The rotating bezel has always set Samsung apart, and it's great to see it return. Now if you talk about the overall design, then the Watch 8 Classic is polarizing. Some people will hate it, some people will love it, and there are people like me who went from nope to actually this looks really good. The Classic feels unique, not just another round smartwatch that blends into the crowd. That's why I like it more. And as a bonus, the raised frame helps protect the display. Every Galaxy watch I owned before the Ultra eventually picked up scratches. But both the Ultra and now the Classic have stayed clean. That's a design choice that matters in the long run. Now Samsung has also fixed this charging issue with the Watch 8 Classic. If you ever tried to charge older Galaxy watches on Samsung's dual wireless charger, you know how bad it was. The curved bands forced the watch to sit at an angle, so you either had to remove the band or press it down just to charge it. That issue is fixed now. The new flat lug system means it sits perfectly. But reverse wireless charging is still missing. You can't drop it on the back of your phone for a quick top-up. Samsung says the new sensors interfere, but that doesn't make it less frustrating. Charging speeds aren't much better either. From 0 to 100 it takes about an hour and 24 minutes. The Ultra takes longer, but that's because of the bigger battery. Still, Apple and Google are ahead of Samsung here. Speaking of battery, here's what I got. With always on display enabled, I consistently hit around 42 hours, which is about a day and a half. Turn always on off and you can stretch it to 55, maybe even 60 hours. That's solid, but not groundbreaking. The Ultra lasted about 5 hours longer, so while it's not a massive gap, you do notice it. The real frustration though is that slow charging speed, because quick top-ups aren't really an option. If Samsung had just used the Ultra's bigger battery here, it would have been a much better experience. Now here's something I didn't expect. The speakers are weaker than the Watch Ultras, and you'll notice it right away. I don't really use a watch speaker for music, but I do talk to Gemini on it, and while it's fine in a quiet room, the moment you're in a noisy environment, it struggles. The Ultra doesn't have that problem. Maybe they slimmed the watch down at the expense of speakers, but either way, it's a step back. Storage at least got an upgrade, now it's 64 gigabytes, way more than most people need, but hey, extra space never hurts. Performance is where this watch absolutely delivers. The 3nm chip is really fast, apps open quickly, animations are smooth, and there's no lag anywhere. Notifications show up right away, no delays. Just a few years ago, Galaxy watches felt sluggish compared to Apple watches. That gap is now gone. The Classic feels every bit as fast and fluid as anything else out there. And then there's the One UI 8 watch. I'll admit, when I first saw the leaks, I hated it. Pill-shaped tiles on a squarish body and a round display? It didn't make sense, but using it in real life completely changed my mind. The tiles look clean, they show more information at a glance, and that means less swiping. The Now bar is another win. Jumping back into whatever you're doing is quick and simple, whether it's resuming a workout or controlling music. Animation feel polished, the layout makes sense, and overall, Samsung finally nailed the balance between form and function. Gemini is better integrated too. Hold the home button or say the magic word and it comes right up. I've used it for workouts, messages, quick questions, you name it. What impressed me the most was how well it handled follow-ups. It remembers context, so you're not starting fresh every time. The only thing missing is raise to speak like Google has on the Pixel Watch 4. That would have made it perfect. Health tracking also benefits from the new Lux system. The bioactive sensor sits closer, giving you better readings. Samsung added new features too: vascular load, which checks stress on your blood vessels, an antioxidant index, a playful way of showing how many fruits and veggies you're eating. Not medical grade, but fun nudges towards healthier habits. There's also an adaptive running coach with real-time pacing and audio feedback, plus the usual ECG, blood pressure, body composition, and sleep tracking. And the real highlight is how it turns raw numbers into practical insights. It suggests that I cut caffeine before bed, adjust sleep timing, and even balance workout better. And tying it all together is the energy score, which gives you a simple daily metric that shows how ready you are, physically and mentally, for the day ahead. It feels less like a gimmick and more like having a personal coach on your wrist. And if you're viewing this on the Galaxy Z Fold 7, it gets even better. The larger display makes your health data feel like a personal journal, organized, clear, and easy to digest. So what's my final verdict on the Galaxy Watch 8 Classic? Well, on the positive side, comfort has been massively improved. The display quality is gorgeous, the rotating bezel is back and it works better than ever. Performance with the new chip is snappy and smooth, and the health features deliver insights that actually feel useful. But it's not all perfect. The display is smaller compared to the Ultra, the speakers are noticeably weaker, the battery life is good but not amazing, and charging speed are still behind the competition. But here's the thing, the Watch 8 Classic is still one of the most well-rounded Android smartwatches you can buy today. Sure, other brands might win on battery life or premium materials, but Samsung's combination of performance, health features, and ecosystem integration is tough to beat. Between the Classic and the Ultra though, the Ultra is still the better overall option in my opinion. You get a bigger screen, louder speakers, and longer battery life. But if you want that rotating bezel, more comfort, or just want to save a little money, the Watch 8 Classic won't disappoint. If you're thinking about picking up either of these watches, I've got some offer links down below that unlocks extra savings. And if you want to check out my full review of the Watch Ultra, that video is right here, and I'll see you there.